What up, guys? Welcome to Armchair Coaches, episode 3. I'm Justin. This is my producer, Jordan, and welcome back. As you guys know, with the flag behind me, I'm a hardcore Detroit Lions fan. I had a whole thing that I want to talk about with news in the league, but this is one of the biggest trades of the last, 20 years. Since this trade, the league's gone crazy. So, Matt Stafford was considered maybe a top 15 QB by league analysts. It's not by me, for sure, but by league analysts for so long. And all of a sudden, Matthew Stafford goes for 2 firsts, a third rounder, and Jared Goff. So it's obvious that Matthew Stafford has been underrated for a very long time. And that's why the Rams saw the opportunity to go poach him. And they were like, hey, we'll give you a lot. But the Lions obviously knew what they had. So the Lions did a great job. But what I really want to talk about is Stafford.
I called it.
You did call it. Jordan's a Rams fan. I'm wearing a Rams hat right now. Here's the thing. The cool thing about this trade is that the Rams understand one thing. Proven players are far more important than potential players. If you can get a player right now that's really good and can put you over the top, that is worth more than picks. It is. Jalen Ramsey. Do you think Jalen Ramsey is worth 2 other first-round cornerbacks? I do, because I think right now he's a top 3 cornerback, arguably the best, and you gave up 2 first-rounders. With those first-rounders, do you think you were going to take the best cornerback in the league? Probably not. And so what I'm starting to think is that not only do the Rams understand that, that's their game plan. They're not going to just keep getting guys, drafting guys, and hoping these guys work out. They want to win now. So why not use the picks for the future to win now? If you're not planning on rebuilding or doing all that, why not use those picks and go get someone like a Matthew Stafford, who last year on throws of 20-plus yards went, 13 of 6? 13 touchdowns to 6 interceptions of 20-plus yard throws? That's insane. While Goff had 4 touchdowns to 6 picks. And a lot of people want to say that Goff is a good quarterback, and I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but I do think what Stafford provides for them is a deep threat. McVay wants to run the ball. They want to run the ball all day, and that's awesome. But if you don't have someone that can throw the ball and then also be a deep threat and actually have the plays downfield, then the run isn't that big of a threat. They know what you're going to do. You're going to run the ball. You're going to run play action. You're going to throw it to the outs, which is their offense became stagnant. I want to talk about the facts of the trade, but at the end of the day, this is an emotional trade for me. I legitimately cried. Last night, I texted you. You called me, and I was like, bro, I can't even, talk about this right now because I was just so broken as a man. And it comes from, look, I don't think Matthew Stafford's a top 5 quarterback. I don't think Matthew Stafford's a great quarterback. I think he's a very, very good quarterback. But I don't think, I know who he is.
Is he a top 10 quarterback?
Yeah, he's easily a top 10, statistically. And, that's just facts. Statistically, he's a top 10 quarterback. And let's put it in perspective. Matthew Stafford holds the record for the fastest 20,000 yards, the fastest quarterback to 30,000 yards, the fastest quarterback to 40,000 yards, and the fastest quarterback to 45,000 yards. He has 282 touchdowns to 144 picks. The guy has one of the only 5 or 6 quarterbacks to ever have a 5,000-yard season. And in 2011, he threw 41 touchdowns with 5,000 yards. It was his 3rd season. And the first 2 seasons, he hadn't even played 16 games. He played 13 games his first 2 seasons, and he throws 41 touchdowns and 5,000 yards. The guy's Brett Favre Jr., you know what I mean? He's Brett Favre without all the picks. That's what he is. Do I think he's a great Brett Favre? No. But Matthew Stafford's going to do so much for the Rams because the Rams are predictable. They knew that this year. They're like, hey, Goff doesn't have what, and like you said, the it factor. He doesn't. Is he serviceable? Yeah, he's Alex Smith. You know what I mean? Alex Smith isn't going to throw an 80-yard bomb, but Alex Smith will throw 10-yard slants. He'll get you up the field and help you run the ball. But they knew that Goff didn't have it. So they got rid of him. They got Stafford in there. And you got to understand that they thought Stafford was so much better that Stafford is going to be 33 in February. And Goff is going to be 27 this year. That is a 6-year difference and 2 first-round picks. That's unheard of and unprecedented. And the biggest thing for that is that, like, the last time this happened was RG3. Like, let's talk about the RG3 trade, right? So RG3 trade was like 2 first-rounders and like a second-rounder, and then RG3 didn't work out. And what happened? The Washington football team has been bad, / the R words, have been bad for the last at least 10 years. And, obviously since that draft, last 8-9 seasons. Jay Cutler going to the Broncos, or going from the Broncos to the Bears weren't good after that. And, you look at Bledsoe, you look at the Ricky Williams trade, like, none of these trades, there's been a few of them that have gone okay, but there haven't been any of these trades that were just like, oh, yeah, like, we went all in for this guy and then we won the Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen like that. And, the contracts are very similar, and people are like, well, the Rams paid that much to get rid of Goff's contract, and I get that to a point, but in 2022, they had an out. So I don't believe that. I think this was McVay and Les Snead realizing that we need to win right now. We need to win with what we have. We have Aaron Donald, we have Jalen Ramsey, we have 2 really good receivers in Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. Higbee's solid, and our line's good. So let's go get the guy we need now and go win a Super Bowl. That's what they're thinking. They're trying to save their jobs. And I get that. I totally understand. Like, I wouldn't keep doing the same thing over and over and over. It's the definition of insanity. So here's my only thing. The apology to Matt Stafford needs to be just as loud as the disrespect. This man has been disrespected throughout the league since 2009. Let me put some statistics in. Matt Stafford has 1 Pro Bowl. You know who else has 1 Pro Bowl? Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky has a Pro Bowl. You know who has 2 Pro Bowls? Jared Goff. Jared Goff has 2 Pro Bowls. Carson Wentz has a Pro Bowl. There are several quarterbacks in the league that have been rated as in a bunch of people that just vote for quarterbacks that they like, rather than people that are statistical leaders. Stafford's 16th on the list in career passing yards. He's going to pass Vinny Testaverde. He's going to pass Carson Palmer and Fran Tarkenton all next year. He'll be 13th. And he's made 1 Pro Bowl. But now that he's getting traded, the Rams are the favorite to win the Super Bowl. So what has happened in the last 24 to 48 hours that has made Matthew Stafford apparently a superstar? Literally nothing. You guys have just not been paying attention forever. And now you guys want to show this guy a bunch of respect after he's just absolutely been torn apart consistently by the media. And for me, like, it's like listening to a band that everyone's getting super into, but you were there like at their first concert and you were like pounding on the table like, this band's gonna be great. That's me. I don't like you guys. I don't like the people that are like, yeah, we got Matt. Like, congrats. And I'm happy for Matt Stafford. Like, obviously, like, the Lions won this trade 100%. Like, you get 2 first-rounders and you're set for the future. But, like,
a multi-Pro Bowl.
Yeah, bro. And we got Jared Goff, who's a 2-time Pro Bowler. Dude, the fact that Jared Goff's a 2-time Pro Bowler and Matt Stafford has 1 Pro Bowl is such a travesty and, like, such a testament to how messed up Pro Bowl voting is.
Break down that trade. You get the multi-Pro Bowler and several picks for a 1-time Pro Bowl.
Exactly.
30, like you said.
He's going to be 33.
The Rams are going to
On the 4th of February, he'll be 33.
So you trade your young, emerging quarterback and give away the rest of the picks you have for the rest of eternity.
Yeah, but I don't think, like, Goff was going to emerge. I think they knew what they had, you know what I mean? I think they might have known that. I think Goff can get better, and I hope that, because as a Lions fan, like, I do want Goff to get better, and I want the Lions to obviously be good. But I think the Rams are obviously going to be really good this year. I think
they better be.
They have to be. If they're not, everyone's losing their jobs. I think McVay will obviously find a job elsewhere, but people will lose their jobs because you're giving up your whole future for right now. And you're not giving it up for a Super Bowl champion. You're not giving it up for an MVP. You're not giving it up for an All-Pro. You're giving it for Matt Stafford. And that's my guy. I love Matt Stafford. Like, he's literally my home screen on my phone. And I have a girlfriend of 3 years. So, I do want to talk about the winners and the losers of this trade. Winners, Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford absolutely won this trade. He goes to a competitive team. He's played for the Lions for 12 seasons. And now he gets to play for a team that's actually going to compete for a Super Bowl.
He gets to live in Los Angeles.
And he gets to live in LA next to his best friend Clayton. So that's great for him. Another winner, the Lions. The Lions now have 4 first-round picks in the next 2 years. That's awesome. They got a 3rd rounder for this year. They're finally committing to a full rebuild, which they've never done. They've never done a full rebuild. They didn't do a full rebuild after Barry. They didn't do a full rebuild, after they messed up with the Joey Harrington pick. They've never done a full rebuild. And that's been a consistent problem. Now that I think Sheila Ford's taken over, she realizes that you need to lay a foundation and follow the Chiefs model. Build the team, then get the quarterback, because then he'll already be good. And that's super important, is having a team that's already around him, because that's only going to help his development. So I think the Lions are actually really well set up. I do really like a lot of their signings. I like Dan Campbell. I like Anthony Lynn as his offensive coordinator. I really like Aaron Glenn as the DC. I like John Dorsey's AGM. They have a lot of good spots. But we're going to talk about some serious losers this trade. There's 2 of them that I really want to talk about. There's a few more, but one is Jared Goff. Jared Goff goes to Detroit. I'm a Detroit Lions fan. I know what we are. We haven't been good since 1957. We've sucked forever. We've sucked for basically 4 times as many years as I've been alive. And that's embarrassing. So, Jared Goff lost this trade because he got traded yesterday, and he's already the 2nd best quarterback Detroit's ever had. That's not good. that's scary if I'm him. The other loser is John Wolford, the backup for the Rams. Apparently they were going to have an open competition, which was absolute BS. That was never going to happen. But I think he thought, he's like, oh, maybe. And then they were just like, no, bro, you're going to sit on the bench still, and your neck's going to be all jacked up from that hit, and you know what, you're just going to be John Wolford. And he was like, oh, okay, so, all right, I guess that's my life now. I think for the Rams that you really, the commitment to winning right now is super apparent. But if it doesn't happen, if you don't get to at least the NFC Championship, if you don't get to a Super Bowl, if you miss the playoffs, or if anything like that happens, people are going to lose jobs because you have no future. You don't have a first-round pick through 2024. So for 7 years in a row, you're not going to take a first-round pick. That's a huge problem. Especially if you don't play well. If you don't play well, that's a massive problem. Look at the Texans. They went 11-5, 10-6, then they traded for Laramie Tunsil, and they thought their first-round pick might be later. It's now the 3rd overall pick. And now Deshaun wants to leave, and in order for Deshaun to leave, they're going to have to basically get their first-round pick back in a trade, which Texans are such a poorly run organization. Honestly, I cannot believe. I feel like there needs to be a rule where you can just force a sale of a team based on ineptitude, because they would have had to sell the team 15 times by now. It's they're so bad. They're literally being run by a chaplain right now, or whatever, like a pastor. That Jack Easterby is creepy, man. That guy's a creep. If you guys don't know the Jack Easterby story, I'll get into it next week, but go look it up. It's interesting. It's crazy. I could sit here and talk about the Matt Stafford trade all day. I could talk about all the scenarios. Lions are obviously going to tank the next few years, and I think the Rams are going to be very good. I think right now, I think it also comes down to obviously Matt Stafford needs to play well, but Matt Stafford's always had the thing he plays for the Lions. Well, now everything I've ever said about Matt Stafford comes to the forefront. Can he ball, dude? And I think he can. I think he's going to be amazing. And just to quickly wrap up this segment, Stafford has 8 fourth-quarter comebacks in one season, and that season they went 9-7. So I really think I'm so happy for him, but I'm so sad at the same time. Stafford's the only reason I felt like the Lions could win, and that's gone. So I know we're gonna suck, and that's more painful because it's I know we're not gonna win basically anything. So, but Rams will be good. They'll be in the NFC Championship this year. They'll probably win their division because the Seahawks are frauds, but Lions are going to suck for the next probably forever. But it's all right. This is a bet, though, and this was something I was thinking of. If Matt Stafford goes to the NFC Championship this year, I'm getting him a number 9 tatted right here. It's happening.
It's done.
It's already done. I said it on camera.
Yeah, do you understand the importance of winning now to the Rams.
Yeah.
And not just to the Rams, but to the entire city of Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that.
Coming out of COVID.
Well, Dodgers, Lakers.
The Rams get a new stadium. The Olympics is coming.
Yeah, and you said the Rams are going to host the Super Bowl next year, right?
And the Rams are hosting the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, so imagine the Rams.
Things get better with COVID-19 situation. The Rams have an opportunity to kind of have an inaugural Super Bowl celebration in their own stadium.
That'd be
Seeing
so
that
sick.
This is the first time that society is
That'd be
going to
so
be allowed
sick.
back in public.
That'd be so sick.
And then you have the Olympics coming. Los Angeles was supposed to or poised
The bid on it,
to
right?
be
That's going to be sick. That'd be so sick because
if they lose,
that'd be devastating. Honestly, I'm a Rams fan for this year.
It's going to be the French Revolution around there. Heads will roll, man.
Well, look, I'm a Lions fan through and through, but like this season, I'm going to be watching a ton of Rams games. Like I tried to be like, you know what, I'm a Rams fan now. I just can't do it though. Dude, it hurts. But we're going to talk about the Chiefs and Bucs Super Bowl game. We're going to do keys of the game, what people need to do to win, what the Bucs need to do to beat the Chiefs. And here's my take on it. The Chiefs are going to win this game. They're obviously the favorite. They're a juggernaut. Their offense is unstoppable. So at this point, what do you do in order to stop an unstoppable team? And a lot of this is going to be stuff that you hear all the time. Obviously, you need to pressure the quarterback. You need to not turn the ball over. You need to run the ball. But at the end of the day, you need to run the ball. Like, that's something that people say all the time, but you need to run the ball. The Chiefs' run defense is not that good. Their pass defense is better than yours, so you need to run the ball. You need to run the ball. Ronald Jones and Lenny need to be all day. So I think I was sitting in my bed last night, and I was, like, thinking about this game, and then, like, all of a sudden I just got, like, this feeling in my chest, and I was, like, sitting there, and, like, I was, like, about to fall asleep, and then I just, like, woke up. I was like, dude, the Bucs are going to win. And, like, I just freaking felt that. I was like, dude, the Bucs are going to win. The Bucs are going to win. I was like, dude, I felt it in my chest. I was like, dude, like, we can talk about keys game, but, dude, you know how insane it is that Tom Brady is going to his 10th Super Bowl? He literally left teams. The team was like, he's like, you don't have enough talent. Bill Belichick's like, I'm the greatest coach of all time. Tom Brady's like, I don't care. I'm going to go to Tampa Bay and go to the Super Bowl again. Like, obviously, Bill Belichick's an amazing coach, but if they're not good next year or the year after, is he? Is he? Like, if they don't, I don't think so. I mean, you win 6 Super Bowls, but I think a lot more goes on.
They cheat. How many scandals?
Yeah, but like I think it comes down to this too.
But that's,
yeah, they have
how many scandals have
like
had?
2, 3. Since he's been in New England, I think 3.
No, in Tampa.
Oh, 0.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, that's true. He's in 0.
So what does Belichick do other than cheat?
Yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. It's like I don't think. What happens when next year they go 7-9 again, and you're like, okay, he's like another rebuild. He's like, the salary cap again. At a certain point, it's like, I'm retiring. It's like, all right, I feel like I think he's gonna retire in 3 years. They don't play well, and he'd be like, right off in the sunset. I didn't have Tom anymore. It's like, okay, well, was Tom leading the team or are you leading the team? But the Bucs. The way they're going to beat the Chiefs is running the football. Like, the Chiefs' run defense is not that good. I think that if you play Leonard Fournette, you play Ronald Jones a lot, I think you have to limit – like, you need to throw the deep ball because Tom Brady's been the most accurate quarterback on deep balls all season. Like, statistically, he has the best QBR when throwing the deep ball, but he threw 3 picks last game. The game before that, he threw 2. I don't trust him throwing 45 times this game. I don't. I don't see them winning doing that. I don't see them honestly keeping it close if he does that. I think if you throw 45 times, I think it's going to be really bad. I think in short game situations, throwing it over the middle, stuff like that, it's going to be awesome. Like, he'll be great. But I think they know that they're a running team. They have a good offensive line. And if you could run the ball down the Chiefs' throat, you can keep the game close till the very end. I don't think there's any world where the Bucs blow out the Chiefs. But I do think there is a world where this game stays close to the very end and Tom Brady has the ball in his hand with 2 minutes left or even less, maybe a minute left, marching down the field, and they win that game. I do think there's a world about that. But I also believe that Chiefs are going to throw the ball. just like Tyreek Hill's uncoverable, and then Mecole Hardman is the exact same thing, but on the other side. And then there's just so much with the Chiefs' offense. Like there's so much firepower that there's just no way to cover everything. And the Buccaneers pass defense it wasn't in the top 15 this year, so that's a problem, especially when you're going against the best quarterback in the league right now. So for me, and I'll bring this up even a little bit, like getting pressure is going to be key, but the biggest thing for the Chiefs is the Chiefs right now don't have their left or right tackle, and that's a big problem. If you don't have your left or right tackle, you saw what happened with the Packers not having Bakhtiari. They didn't have Bakhtiari, and I think Rodgers sacked 5 times. And that obviously had an effect. It was super apparent, the way he was throwing, the way he was moving. And if you can get to Mahomes, that foot doesn't look like it's a problem. But if you can get off the left side, you can get off the right side, and you can get to him, you can affect the game. And they have a really good defense, mostly pass rush and run defense. But, Vita Vea's back. You have Sue, who played really well last game. You have William Golston, who's pretty good. Shaq Barrett. You have Devin White, Levante David. Those are guys that are just game changers. They can affect the game at every level. So getting pressure is going to be super key. Shaq Barrett had 3 sacks last game, and it made a huge impact on the rest of the game. So, but I had that feeling in my chest that was just like, dude, the Bucs are going to win. It's Tom Brady, dude. He's won 6 Super Bowls. He's got 6. The only guy that's ever, no one else will do it. The only guy that'll probably get close is Patrick. But even if Patrick doesn't get there, who's going to blame him? It's so unprecedented because not only is Tom Brady I don't think he's physically the most gifted quarterback. I think he's the hardest working quarterback. I think his work ethic is so amazing that he literally has turned himself into an athlete. I don't think he was really that athletic. I think this guy literally just focused every day, every waking minute of being this good because right now he is 43 years old and he might win his 7th ring. And no one's done it. No one's even come close. He's got more Super Bowls than most franchises, almost all franchises, except for the Steelers and the Pats. You could take, I think it was the bottom 10 team Super Bowls and combine them, and Tom Brady has more. Tom Brady has more NFC wins against NFC teams in the playoffs than Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. And for the last 20 seasons, he's played in the AFC. How is that even a statistic? And you're going to call these other 2 guys the best? Come on, man. I think Tom Brady, and don't get me wrong, I don't think Tom Brady played horribly or anything like that. But I think if you're going to win this game, you're going to beat the Chiefs, the team that's the best in the league, the team that can flip the switch and hit another gear at any point in any time. You're not going to be able to throw the ball 45 times. They have a good pass defense, and I could see them picking it up. The rest of that, we're going to go around the league a little bit. I think Deshaun Watson is gone. I think Deshaun Watson's going to be gone very, very soon. I'm very excited about that. I don't think the Houston Texans should be able to have a franchise. I think they should have to sell their team at this point. They disgust me. You just have to be nice to the guy. Just show him courtesy. And they can't do that. So now let's talk about the trades. There's a few trades that I could see him. So with the trade last night, there's only a couple teams with enough draft capital to go get Sean. And it's people the Dolphins have a lot of draft capital. The Jets have high draft picks, which are important. But the Lions have 4 picks over the next 2 years. So you know how people trade away all their first-round picks, and then they're like, oh my gosh, we traded away all our first-round picks for the next 4 years. What are we going to do? But if the Lions trade their picks, that's only for 2 years. So for the next 2 years, they wouldn't have their first-round picks. But even that, give them 3 picks and keep one of them. So you only miss 1 year without a first-round pick. For Deshaun Watson, that's amazing. And people, and I know I said build the team, then get the quarterback, but when you have a chance to get a top 3 quarterback at the age of 25, turning 26 this year, you'll never get that chance again. And I think when you have that chance, you got to take it. Before we wrap up the show, I do want to talk a little bit about Nick Sirianni. So we're going to talk about Nick Sirianni. We're going to talk about a few other guys. but Nick Sirianni's press conference was brutal. I don't know if anyone actually heard what he was saying and like some of the stuff he was saying, but the guy said system and smart and develop and system 47 times. I know I said system twice, but so did he. Nick Sirianni seemed super nervous. He seemed scared when he was talking. It seemed upset. So when the Eagles introduced him as the head coach, I felt so bad for the guy because you know what? Like, he's talking to millions of people. You know that. He's talking to Philly fans. I'm scared of Philly fans. I have friends that are Philly fans. I'm scared of them. Like, they're the worst fans in the world. People can say they're the best. They're literally the worst. Like, you literally threw snowballs at Santa Claus. You're the worst. So the guy stumbled over every word. It was an hour long. Dude, take the guy out of his misery. How did you guys let him talk for that long? The poor guy. By the time the press conference was over, I was like, dude, oh my gosh. And then he answered a question from the reporters and was much better. So who wrote that speech? Because that was brutal. I want to talk about the David Culley hire from the Texans. I feel like when you've been a receivers coach for like the last 73 years, and then you go from wide receivers coach to head coach, it's kind of a weird jump. I think there's a reason he was a wide receiver coach for a long time. He also said the reason I took the job is because I know Deshaun Watson's going to be a Texan. And then Deshaun the next day removed any Texans affiliation from all social media platforms. And that was hilarious. Because like he prompted that. Deshaun would have done that anyway, but after Culley said that, he's like, oh yeah? Okay. I don't think like you can't just say, oh, I know he'll be here. Deshaun's like, really? That's crazy. I haven't talked to you. So you're just telling me that I'll be somewhere that I don't want to be? That's crazy. I'm a grown man. I'm not going to do that. Which is just a dumb thing to say. It's just so dumb. Because you're literally expecting this guy to be there now. He doesn't want to be there. He's made it extremely clear. Trade me, trade me, trade me. I don't want to play for you. And then your head coach comes in and goes, I know he'll be here. That's just not a smart thing to say. Also, J.J. Watt probably won't be on the team very much longer. It'd be kind of cool to see him go play on like the Colts or something. It'd be kind of cool to go see him play on the Rams. That'd be sick. And the NFL draft's coming up. That's the cool thing, is the draft is my favorite part of the offseason. It's the best. Because the NFL draft in the offseason, all I do is sit on my couch and read mock drafts. So that's what I'll be doing all weekend. Because we have the 7th pick. So with the 7th pick, who are we going to take? Trey Lance? I don't know about that. Zach Wilson probably won't be there. Justin Fields, yeah, Ohio State quarterback's been real great. Not one of them's panned out. So at the 7th pick, if Zach Wilson's there, I want Zach Wilson. If not, I want Micah Parsons there. If not, I want Gregory Rousseau. But we need defense. Lions need defense. And I really want them to take someone on defense. I don't want them to go reaching for a quarterback. With the 6th pick is what the Eagles have. The Eagles have to take a receiver. They have to take a receiver. At this point, I get that you guys took, I don't remember his freaking name, and he was a first-round draft pick. Jalen Reagor, over Justin Jefferson. They took him a pick before Justin Jefferson, who had 1,400 yards Pro Bowl. You have to correct that mistake. You have to go get a receiver. You have to go get someone that can make plays, because you have no one on that team that can make plays. You have Miles Sanders, who's pretty good. Rieger's pretty good, but you need to surround either Jalen Hurts or Carson Wentz with some weapons.
You also have to choose a quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to go. Because Sirianni, the new head coach, was like, we have 2 amazing quarterbacks. And apparently Jeffrey Lurie has a poster of Carson Wentz in his office. So it's like, yeah, so imagine interviewing and it's like, so what do you think of my poster? He's like, yeah, he's really great. He's like, yeah, I love him. It's like, oh, okay. No, he's like, no, I love him. What are you going to be like? Yeah, he's not good. You know what I mean? He's like, oh, you didn't want this job? Okay, have a good one. That's my thing is, if Jeffrey Lurie loves him so much and Howie Roseman loves him so much, it doesn't make sense. Why did you draft Jalen Hurts at all? Why would you draft Jalen Hurts at all if you believe in Carson Wentz so much? Because it wasn't Doug Peterson 100%. Literally, Doug Peterson doesn't have a job because of that. So there's so many teams, honestly. What I do really want to take care of is I want to talk just a little bit to Matt. Matt, Matthew Stafford. After 12 seasons of playing in Detroit, I just want to say everything you've done for us, everything you've done for me as a human being, thank you. You mean so much to the city of Detroit, and we wish you the best of luck on the Los Angeles Rams. But honestly, Matt, I want you to know that Detroit will never be the same. Detroit loves you. I love you. God loves you. Oh my God, I'm so freaking sad. I'm gonna miss Matthew Stafford so much, dude. Like at the end of the day, you're Lions fans. It's like, yeah, I'm a Lions fan, but we got Stafford. It's like, yeah, you do. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this episode of Armchair Coaches. Thank you for listening to me ramble on and be sad for the last 30 minutes. Appreciate you guys coming and listening, and I'll see you next week.